I am trying to create a little video to introduce lithic literature at the beginning, so I don't always have to introduce who I am. I'm an artist and not always up to par physically, because I'm not, I am what I am. But this is what interests me. So welcome to Lithic Literature. I'm not always going to be in the picture, but here I am. This is what I do. I wake up very early in the morning, excited to share with you and the world what I am discovering with lithic literature. And right now we're working on the Colombian turtle fossil, a giant turtle fossil that has been recently uncovered. And what I'm uncovering as well is that this has been worked on, and well, the fossil itself was discovered by prior humans. Here, let's give this up. Here we go. So we're working on this. I've put the little Mona Lisa up here just to help you orient yourself. And you know, as I have explained, artists like Leonardo da Vinci actually was using this actual design, maybe not the turtle fossil, but the design that we find that was used by all the greatest of artists of history that we now study. In any case, even more modern, Picasso, etc. Well, in any case, that's why I set that in there. It makes it easier, I think, for me and everyone else. But she's definitely got multiple legs going on. You know, she is running, jumping, stepping, even like a fencer coming at you with her lunging. But I love the way too here as she extends her arm, she also almost has like a, what's Trump's wife? That dress she wore down the elevator. Well, anyway, but she's begging for a mermaid's tail, don't you know? And she's actually like using the tail like whoosh, whoosh. And this is the boat we've set in here, whoosh, which also it almost looks like a little martini glass. Is that a girl sitting in that martini glass? Oh, that's crazy. Is it a little olive and everything? But anyway, that's not what we're looking at. What I'm suggesting here, that yes, we have the mermaid form. Lots of other things going on, of course. But also too, another thing I wanted to share here is that she's also presenting you her baby and her little, little, what do you call the little baby cribs? Well, anyway, she's presenting that too. But then, you know, we start looking a little bit more. I begin to see this angry elephant. And then, you know, I always flip my work. This is gonna like this. I've got a friend that's out in the cold on a big boat. They might recognize this. Let me see if I can get it straight. Sounds like rain outside. We need it. We certainly do. All right, so here what I'm suggesting is, now as I work, that I'm beginning to pick up the seasons. Now, I started out thinking, oh, morning glories. That makes sense. Colombia, Mexico, they're all like, these flowers grow wild, protecting nature, like birds and things, and they're with a canopy of everything. But then all of a sudden I'm looking closer as I'm working, and I'm beginning to pick up the rabbits, the varying hares. I'm also working on the polar bears. So all of a sudden I'm thinking that looks more like this, like winter. So we're picking up something of the seasons here as well. You know, we have the Mona Lisa with fruit, picking fruit, offering fruit, the cornucopia. Over here we have somebody, you know, with a dandelion blowing the seeds. We have the bright sun here, springtime. I'm sure we're going to get, I'll find that too. You already see the big mama bird and maybe a nest and eggs. We'll see. I'm sure that will be there. But I was very happy to find, the actual seasons. And, we can go on here. They, by this point, if we're talking that this was last worked in the 1500s, maybe even with the Spaniard exposure, they brought their rocks, and their rocks were covered with things. So this is the way they share information as people travel. But here we have the earth and the moon, and you back up and you begin to understand that they understand how the world went around. They saw it all. And there's so much more here. I hope you're going to enjoy exploring this with me. I know I'm really happy with what's going on. It's exciting. All from a turtle fossil supposedly uncovered. I don't know when that's apart. I don't know the information of how it was found, who found it, how it was uncovered. If anybody knows, please let me know.